Hi, I'm Troy Harris from Rookie Developer, and in the light of what's been happening with the banks over the last short period of time, I've got a lot of questions that I'd like answers, and I'm sure you would too. So I'm here with Neil Gorman, who's a mortgage broker, and quite honestly, the very best mortgage broker I know. So some questions. So Neil, the question on everyone's lips, CBA, why did they do it?
I think the argument that they put forward, Troy, is that it now costs them more money to borrow money which they then lend to us, as a result of which, therefore, that increased cost they're passing on to ourselves. I think from my perspective, the big question though is should they have done it? And with regards to it, the Reserve Bank, I believe, certainly makes the case that they didn't need to have increased the rates above what they've actually done. From the general public's perspective, I mean, it's hard for me to say obviously, but having made $6.1 billion worth of profits last year, 43% more than they made the year before, having paid their chief executive, Ralph Norris, $16 million, I would assume that many in the public find it quite hard to accept as well. And the impact of that as well is that we've seen the government now having reacted to it similarly. And you can't turn on the news nowadays without actually seeing one politician or another telling us what they're going to do with regards to reining in these banks, increasing competition, and so on.
Which leads to the next question. The other banks are holding back at the moment. I suspect they have to move up. By how much and when? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, fascinating, isn't it? I mean, nobody's moved. Does it come as a surprise? Not really. Not with it all going on as it is at the present moment in time. So I think everyone, and by that I'm referring to the big banks, they're probably just sat there at the present moment in time, waiting for the fallout to stop from the Commonwealth Bank's decision before they actually make any further decisions thereafter. I'm sure there will be an increase, but to what level we shall indeed have to wait and see.
Well, I don't currently have a loan with CBA, fortunately, as it would seem at the moment, but if I did, or if it was just my home mortgage, what would you suggest the course of action would be?
Well, kind of related back to that second question you asked me, if it was me, I would just sit still for a minute. I wouldn't do anything until such time as we've actually heard what the other banks are going to do or actually have actually done. And by banks, I'm talking about the lenders, be that the building societies, credit unions, and so on and so forth. Wait till we hear that, and I would suggest that's probably going to be within the next week and a half that we'll hear probably from all and sundry. And once that's out, then I'd go and see your mortgage broker and speak to your mortgage broker with regards to finding out what it is that you've got currently, what it might be that you're looking for, and see if they can find you something more competitive or more appropriate than what you've got at the present moment in time.
The hardest part for someone with a mortgage, if their bank starts putting up over and above the remainder, is if they wanted to refinance, but there's the exit fee costs.
Yeah.
Now, I read the government's looking to legislate to limit those exit fee charges. Although I can see the reasoning behind that, I'm concerned that the banks will find another way around that. What would be your thoughts on that?
I'm sure that would be the case. We'll get charged for it somewhere. I'm confident with regards to that. And from my perspective as well, I have to say that with regards to the lenders that we tend to work with, they don't actually charge, from my perspective, exorbitant exit fees. Anyway, there certainly are exit fees, but they're not, tens of thousands of dollars. They're not even necessarily thousands of dollars in that respect. Obviously, fees you don't want to pay, but they're not necessarily that exorbitant. I think from my perspective, from the years that I've been doing this from, the biggest challenge for most people is actually the perspective of the hassle they're going to have to go through to refinance. And I think the two things that I would say is go and speak to your mortgage broker about the cost, because that certainly is a consideration, and make sure that when your mortgage broker explains to you, what benefit you're going to get in terms of a reduced interest rate from the new lender, that they explain to you how that works in conjunction with the cost that you're going to have to pay to leave your existing lender, so you can do a comparison between the benefit and the cost. That'd be the first thing I'd make sure that they do, just not persuade you it's a simple benefit, there will be a cost. That's the first thing. And the second thing is that if your mortgage broker can assist you in terms of finding a better loan, they'll look after all of the hassle associated with the refinance anyway. They'll take your application, they'll be the ones who submit to the bank, and they'll be the ones who actually manage all of that. You don't need to get involved in any of those things at all, and within 6 weeks of thereabouts you'll be getting yourself a new mortgage, hopefully with a better rate and therefore lower repayments than what you've got currently.
So Neil, if I'm in a situation where I've got a mortgage with and there's some better rates out there, I'll sit back for a little while until see where everyone settles, and I still decide it's time to move. How do I get in touch with you to refinance?
Fantastic. Well, if somebody would like to give me a call, that would be great. My telephone number is 0430 500 848, or of course you can email me on neil.gorman@mortgagechoice.com.au.
I'll just grab that phone number once again.
Yeah, sure. 0430 500 848.
Thank you so much, Neil. Thank you for joining us and answering those questions. Now, for you and for property investors, the financial environment is changing all the time. So I recommend that you constantly review your financial situation, your lending situation, as I do. And if there's a better way of doing it, I recommend you take that course of action. So until next time, thank you very much and see you on the development sites of the world.